never thought I'd be sharing this on Reddit, but I guess life has a way of surprising you. I'm Sarah, 28F, and my world turned upside down about 6 months ago. It all started when my sister Angelina, 32F, announced she was pregnant. To give you some background, Angelina and I have always had a complicated relationship. Growing up, we were 4 years apart, which meant we were never really in the same stage of life at the same time. Angelina was always the perfect child, straight A's, captain of the debate team, first chair violin in the school orchestra. I, on the other hand, was more of a free spirit. I did well in school, but I was more interested in computers and coding than extracurricular activities. Our parents, especially our mom, always seemed to favor Angelina. They'd go to all her recitals and debates, but when it came to my coding competitions, they'd often be too busy to attend. It created a rift between us that only grew as we got older. When Angelina met Tom, 34M, in college, it seemed like her perfect life was complete. They got married right after graduation, and everyone expected them to start a family right away. But years passed, and no baby came. Angelina never really talked about it, but I could tell it was bothering her. Meanwhile, I focused on my career. I became a software developer, landed a great job at a tech startup, and bought my own apartment. I was happy with my life, even if it wasn't the traditional path my parents had envisioned for me. So when Angelina announced she was pregnant, I was genuinely happy for her. I thought maybe this would finally bring us closer as sisters. But then came the bombshell. Angelina told me I was going to be the surrogate mother. Not asked. Told. I was shocked. Angelina and I weren't close enough for her to assume I'd do something like this. We talked maybe once a month, usually just surface-level catch-ups. So for her to just assume I'd carry her baby? It was mind-boggling. When I tried to tell her I wasn't comfortable with the idea, she brushed it off. "Oh, come on, Sarah," she said. "It's not a big deal. You're not using your uterus right now anyway." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Not using my uterus? Was she serious? I tried to explain that being a surrogate was a huge decision, one that would affect my body, my job, and my life for at least 9 months. But Angelina wouldn't listen. She kept going on about how she and Tom had been trying for so long, how this was their last chance, and how I was being selfish for not wanting to help. Things got even worse when our parents got involved. Mom, 56F, and Dad, 58M, sided with Angelina, as usual. They started calling me every day, telling me how important family is and how I should be willing to do anything for my sister. Dad even said, "Sarah, this is your chance to finally do something meaningful with your life." That hurt. I have a good job, my own place, and a life I'm proud of. But suddenly, because I wasn't willing to be an incubator for my sister, none of that mattered? It felt like I was back in high school, constantly being compared to Angelina and found wanting. The pressure kept mounting. Angelina started telling our extended family and friends about her wonderful sister who was going to be her surrogate. She even posted about it on Facebook before I had agreed to anything. Suddenly, I was getting messages from aunts, uncles, and cousins I hadn't spoken to in years, all praising me for my selflessness. I tried to set the record straight, but Angelina had already spun her story. Anyone I told the truth to either didn't believe me or said I was being dramatic. "It's just 9 months, they'd say. Don't you want your sister to be happy?" But it wasn't just 9 months. It was my body, my career, my life. I had just been promoted to lead developer on a major project at work. How was I supposed to manage that while pregnant? And what about the health risks? The potential long-term effects on my body? Nobody seemed to care about any of that. The final straw came at a family dinner. Angelina had invited everyone over to celebrate the upcoming surrogacy. I hadn't agreed to anything, but she acted like it was a done deal. As we sat around the table, she started talking about her plans for the nursery and how excited she was for me to start the hormone treatments. I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up and told everyone the truth. I said I had never agreed to be a surrogate, that Angelina had been lying to everyone, and that I was tired of being pressured and guilted into something I didn't want to do. The room went quiet. Then all hell broke loose. Angelina burst into tears, saying I was ruining her only chance at motherhood. Mom and Dad started yelling at me, calling me selfish and heartless. Tom just sat there, looking uncomfortable. I left the dinner feeling like I was going crazy. Was I really the bad guy here? Was I being selfish for not wanting to give up my body and my life for 9 months? I didn't think so, but my family sure seemed to think otherwise. Since that night, things have been tense. Angelina isn't speaking to me. Mom and Dad keep leaving guilt-tripping voicemails. Even some of my friends have been weird about it, saying things like, "Well, if it was my sister, I'd do it." I'm standing my ground, but it's hard. I feel like I'm losing my family over this. But at the same time, I can't believe they put this kind of pressure on me. It's my body, my choice, right? The whole situation has brought up a lot of old feelings from childhood. The constant comparison to Angelina, the feeling that nothing I do is ever good enough for my parents. I thought I had moved past all that, but this surrogacy drama has brought it all back to the surface. I've tried talking to Angelina one-on-one, hoping to make her understand my perspective. But she won't listen. She keeps saying things like, "You've always been selfish and you've never cared about anyone but yourself." It's like she's rewriting our entire history to fit this narrative where I'm the bad guy. As for Tom, he's been strangely quiet throughout this whole ordeal. When I've tried to talk to him about it, he just says it's between Angelina and me. But shouldn't he have a say in who carries his child? His lack of involvement is making me suspicious, but I can't quite put my finger on why. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to cave just to make the drama stop, but I know that's not the right reason to become a surrogate. Another part of me wants to cut ties with all of them and start fresh somewhere else. I've been looking into transferring to my company's office in another city, just to get some distance from all this. But is running away really the answer? And what if Angelina tries to go through with this surrogacy plan with someone else? Should I warn them? I guess I'm writing this to see if I'm crazy. Am I wrong for not wanting to be my sister's surrogate? How do I handle this situation without losing my family entirely? Any advice would be appreciated because right now, I feel like I'm drowning in family drama with no way out. Update when it's been 3 weeks since my last post, and the situation has somehow managed to get even more complicated. First off, thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. Your support and advice really helped me feel less crazy about the whole situation. I took your suggestions to heart and decided to stand my ground. I made it clear to my family that I wouldn't be a surrogate, no matter how much they pressured me. For a while, things were quiet. Too quiet, as it turns out. Last week, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. When I answered, it was a woman claiming to be from a surrogacy agency. She started going on about how they'd received my application and were excited to move forward with the process. I was confused at first, then horrified as I realized what had happened. Angelina had filled out a surrogacy application in my name. She had used my personal information, forged my signature, and even sent in medical records she must have somehow obtained. I was livid. This wasn't just crossing a line, it was identity theft. I immediately called the agency back and explained the situation. They were understanding but advised me to file a police report to protect myself. I was torn. Filing a police report meant potentially getting Angelina into serious legal trouble. But at the same time, what she did was illegal and a massive violation of my privacy. I thought back to all the times in our childhood when Angelina had gotten away with things because I didn't want to get her in trouble. Like the time she broke Mom's favorite vase and blamed it on me, or when she borrowed my car in college and got into an accident. After a lot of thought, I decided to file the report. It wasn't an easy decision, but I felt I needed to protect myself. What if Angelina tried something like this again? The fallout was immediate and intense. Angelina called me screaming, saying I was trying to ruin her life. Mom and Dad were furious, telling me I was tearing the family apart. Even Tom, who had been mostly quiet throughout this whole ordeal, left me an angry voicemail. But here's where things get even more complicated. Remember how I mentioned that Angelina and Tom had been trying for a baby for years? Well, it turns out there's a reason for that. A mutual friend reached out to me after hearing about the police report. She told me something I never knew: Tom had a vasectomy years ago, before he even met Angelina. This revelation hit me hard. Not only because it meant Angelina had been lying about their fertility struggles, but because it brought back a memory from years ago. When Angelina and Tom first started dating, I remember overhearing a conversation between them at a family barbecue. Tom had said something about not wanting kids, and Angelina had agreed, saying she wasn't sure about motherhood either. I hadn't thought much of it at the time, but now it seemed significant. Apparently, Tom never wanted children. He told Angelina this when they first started dating, and she said she was okay with it. But as the years went by, Angelina became obsessed with the idea of having a baby. She started pressuring Tom, who eventually agreed to look into adoption or surrogacy to make her happy. This new information made me question everything. Why was Angelina so desperate for a baby when she had initially been okay with not having kids? And why go to such extreme lengths to make me a surrogate instead of just adopting or finding a willing surrogate through proper channels? I didn't know what to do with this information. Part of me wanted to confront Angelina, to expose all her lies. But another part of me felt sorry for her. Was she so desperate for a baby that she'd resort to all this deception? In the end, I decided to talk to Tom first. I met him for coffee and told him everything, about Angelina's lies, the surrogacy pressure, and what our mutual friend had told me. Tom was shocked. He admitted he'd gone along with Angelina's surrogacy plan because he thought it would make her happy, but he had no idea about the extent of her deception. As we talked, Tom opened up about his own struggles in the marriage. He confessed that he and Angelina had been having problems for years, largely stemming from their disagreement about having children. He said he considered leaving several times but always stayed because he loved Angelina and hoped she'd change her mind about wanting kids. Tom left our meeting looking shell-shocked. I felt bad for him, but I also felt relieved that the truth was finally coming out. I wondered if this would be the push he needed to finally stand up to Angelina and maybe even end their marriage. As for Angelina and my parents, I'm still not sure how to proceed. The police are investigating the identity theft, and I'm worried about what might happen to Angelina. Despite everything, she's still my sister. I keep thinking about our childhood, about the times when we actually got along. Like the summer we spent at our grandparents' farm, staying up late to watch meteor showers and catching fireflies in jars. It's hard to reconcile those memories with the person Angelina has become. Mom and Dad are still not speaking to me. They are convinced I'm making everything up to get out of being a surrogate. It hurts, but I'm trying to stay strong. I've started seeing a therapist to help me deal with all the stress and complicated emotions this situation has brought up. I'm seriously considering moving out of state for a while, just to get some distance from all this drama. My company has an office in another city, and I'm thinking about requesting a transfer. The idea of a fresh start is tempting, but I'm also worried about running away from my problems. So that's where things stand now. My family is in shambles, my sister might be facing legal trouble, and I'm contemplating starting over in a new city. It's not where I thought I'd be a month ago, but I guess that's life. I'll keep you all updated on what happens next. Thanks again for all your support. It means more than you know. Update 2. It's been 2 months since my last update, and just when I thought things couldn't get more complicated, life threw another curveball my way. First, let me catch you up on what's been happening. After the whole identity theft fiasco, Angelina was charged with fraud. It was a misdemeanor, but she ended up having to pay a fine and do community service. Tom filed for divorce, unable to get past Angelina's lies about wanting children and the whole surrogacy debacle. As for me, I did end up taking that transfer. I've been living in a new city for the past month, trying to rebuild my life away from all the family drama. It's been hard, but also refreshing. I've made some new friends, thrown myself into work, and even started seeing a therapist to deal with all the stress from the past few months. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Last week, I got a call from my mom. Now, my parents haven't spoken to me since the police report, so I was surprised to hear from her. I almost didn't answer, but something told me I should. When I picked up, my mom was crying. Through her sobs, she managed to tell me that Angelina was pregnant. Naturally, I was confused. How could Angelina be pregnant when Tom had a vasectomy and they were getting divorced? Well, it turns out the baby isn't Tom's. It's not even Angelina's, biologically speaking. My mom finally admitted the truth. Angelina had been lying about everything from the very beginning. Angelina isn't infertile. She never has been. The whole trying for years story was a complete fabrication. The reason she was so desperate for me to be a surrogate wasn't that she couldn't have children, but because she didn't want to go through pregnancy herself. Apparently, Angelina has always been terrified of pregnancy and childbirth. This fear stems from a traumatic event in her teenage years that I never knew about. When Angelina was 16, she witnessed our cousin go through a difficult pregnancy and nearly die during childbirth. It left a deep impression on her, creating an intense fear of pregnancy. But Angelina also desperately wanted a baby, or at least, she thought she did. When Tom told her he didn't want kids, she saw it as the perfect opportunity. She could play the part of the desperate, infertile wife, and guilt someone else, me, into carrying a baby for her. But when her plan with me fell apart, she panicked. She started seeing this guy behind Tom's back, let's call him Mike. Mike got her pregnant, and now Angelina is faced with the very thing she was trying to avoid. I was speechless. All the drama, all the pain our family has gone through, was because Angelina was afraid of being pregnant? It seemed too ridiculous to be true. But as my mom kept talking, more truths came out. My parents admitted they had known about Angelina's fear of pregnancy for years. They went along with her surrogacy plan because they thought it would fix her fear. They never considered how it would affect me or that it was wrong to pressure someone into being a surrogate. I felt a mix of emotions, anger at the deception, relief that the truth was finally out, and a weird sense of vindication. All those months of being called selfish and heartless, and it turns out I was right all along. My mom spent a long time apologizing. She and my dad realized how badly they had messed up, how unfairly they had treated me. They asked if there was any way I could forgive them. I told her I needed time to process everything. The revelation that my entire family had been lying to me for months, if not years, was a lot to take in. I said I'd think about it and get back to her. As for Angelina, she's apparently a mess. The pregnancy she tried so hard to avoid is now a reality. Tom won't take her back, and Mike wants nothing to do with the baby. She's alone, scared, and finally facing the consequences of her actions. Part of me feels sorry for her. Another part is still angry at all the pain she caused. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to have a relationship with her again, but I'm trying to find it in my heart to at least hope she gets the help she needs. So that's where things stand now. My family's web of lies has finally unraveled, leaving us all to deal with the aftermath. I'm still processing everything and trying to figure out how to move forward. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I do know one thing: I'm glad I stood my ground. If there's one lesson I've learned from all of Update 2, continued, it's that you should always trust your instincts, even when everyone else is telling you you're wrong. The whole situation has made me reflect on our family dynamics. Growing up, Angelina was always the golden child, and I was the black sheep. Now, it seems like those roles have reversed. It's a strange feeling, and I'm not sure how to handle it. I've been talking to my therapist about all of this. She's helping me work through my feelings of betrayal and anger. It's a slow process, but I'm starting to see some progress. As for my job, the transfer has been a blessing in disguise. I'm working on an exciting new project that's keeping me busy and distracted from all the family drama. My new colleagues are great, and I'm slowly starting to feel like I belong here. I'm still not sure how to proceed with my family. Part of me wants to forgive them and try to rebuild our relationships. Another part of me is scared of getting hurt again. I keep thinking about all the times in the past when I've forgiven them, only for them to fall back into the same patterns. For now, I'm taking it one day at a time. I've told my parents I need space, and surprisingly, they're respecting that. Angelina has tried to reach out a few times, but I'm not ready to talk to her yet. I'll update again if anything major happens, but for now, I'm focusing on healing and moving forward with my life. Thanks again for all your support throughout this crazy journey. Update 3: It's been half a year since my last update, and I thought it was time to share where things stand now. A lot has changed, and while not everything is perfect, I feel like I'm finally in a good place. First, the big news: Angelina had her baby, a little girl, about 2 months ago. Despite her fears, the pregnancy and birth went smoothly. From what I've heard, she's adapting to motherhood better than anyone expected. It seems the reality of having a child has changed her perspective on a lot of things. I wasn't there for the birth, but my parents kept me updated. They sent me pictures of the baby, and I have to admit, she's adorable. It's strange to think I have a niece now, especially given everything that's happened. As for my relationship with my family, it's complicated. After taking some time to process everything, I decided to give my parents a chance to make amends. We've had a lot of long, difficult conversations about trust, respect, and boundaries. They've apologized numerous times and seem to genuinely understand how wrong their actions were. We're slowly rebuilding our relationship, but it's not the same as before. I'm more cautious now, more guarded. But I'm also proud of myself for setting clear boundaries and sticking to them. My parents know that if they ever try to manipulate or pressure me like that again, I won't hesitate to cut them off completely. My relationship with Angelina is still strained. I've seen her and the baby a couple of times, always with other family members present. It's awkward and tense, but we're civil. Angelina has apologized for her actions, but I'm not sure I'm ready to forgive her yet. The breach of trust was enormous, and it's going to take a long time to heal, if it ever does. Angelina is struggling as a single mother, but she's getting help from our parents and attending therapy to work through her fears and issues. She's even started a support group for women with tachophobia, fear of pregnancy and childbirth. It's good to see her taking steps to address her problems, even if it's too late to undo the damage she caused. On a personal note, I'm doing well. I decided to stay in the new city. I've built a life here that I'm happy with. My job is going great, I've made some wonderful friends, and I've even started dating someone. It's early days, but it feels good to be moving forward. The whole surrogacy drama seems like a distant nightmare now. Looking back, I can hardly believe how crazy things got. But I'm grateful for the experience in a way. It taught me a lot about standing up for myself, about the importance of boundaries, and about not compromising my values, even when it's difficult. I've also learned a lot about forgiveness, both giving it and receiving it. It's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it's possible. I'm still working on forgiving Angelina, but I found that holding on to anger only hurts me in the long run. My therapist has been instrumental in helping me work through all of this. We've been exploring my childhood experiences and how they've shaped my relationships with my family. It's been eye-opening to realize how many of our current issues stem from long-established patterns. One of the biggest challenges has been learning to see my parents and Angelina as flawed human beings, rather than the larger-than-life figures they were in my childhood. It's a process, but I'm getting there. I've also been working on building a support system outside of my family. My new friends here have been incredible, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's made me realize how much I was missing by always putting my family first. So that's where things stand now. My family is slowly healing, though we'll never be the same as we were before. I'm building a life I love, on my own terms. And most importantly, I'm at peace with my decisions. To anyone out there facing a similar situation, stand your ground. Trust your instincts. Don't let anyone pressure you into something you're not comfortable with, even if they're family. Your body, your choice. Always. Thank you all for your support throughout this journey. Your advice and encouragement help me more than you know. I'm not sure if I'll update again, but I wanted to let you all know that I'm okay. More than okay, actually. I'm thriving.